For more than a century, Philadelphia Foundation has invested in programs and organizations serving our city's most vulnerable and marginalized communities.
At the William Penn Foundation, we invest roughly $150 million each year in education, the environment, arts and culture program, and to improve public spaces in Philadelphia. While neither of our organizations have a particular experience on the issue of gun violence, it became clear that none of the investments we've made in the long-term efforts to improve education and the quality of life in Philadelphia would matter if the gun violence crisis continued. We did our homework and learned that cities that have successfully reduced gun violence have shared ownership of the problem across the business, civic, and philanthropic sectors. With government support, these cities brought together collective expertise, authority, and resources to focus on and coordinate services and information to interrupt the violence. This work requires long-term commitment and vigilance.
We brought together a broad group of stakeholders, including the mayor, the district attorney, police commissioner, council president, business and nonprofit partners, all coming together to amplify the work of the many community and faith-based organizations across the city that have been focused on this issue for decades. Philadelphia has many successful violence prevention programs. We know that prevention and transformation take time, and we support those efforts. But too often, the one area where we haven't focused is intervention, focusing on those at the highest risk of shooting someone or being shot. And cities that have used these strategies have reduced gun violence in as little as 6 to 12 months.
Evidence-based intervention strategies use data to identify individuals most at risk of being killed or otherwise involved in gun violence.
Equally important are the experiences and voices of those closest to the crisis, the people who are impacted and working to address it every day.
We found that in Philadelphia, a relatively small number of people are responsible for the majority of the gun violence. The data clearly shows that young people are not the driving force in the city. In fact, nearly 90% of the city's gun violence is committed by people over the age of 18. Specifically 18 to 30. Once these individuals are identified, we can help them get the services they need. For some, it may mean law enforcement, but for many, we can start implementing proven intervention strategies. This means intensive, one-on-one, trust-building care through credible messengers and case management. There is humanity in this work. Meeting people where they are, treating them with dignity, and giving them hope and support and life-saving tools for change. The key is collaboration and integration of our programs. Intervention can stop the shooting and disrupt the cycle of trauma and save lives.
We've been working with David Mohammed, Executive Director of the National Institute for Criminal Justice Reform, to help us understand the data and connect us to experts across the country. David is a renowned subject matter expert who's helped dozens of cities around the country reduce gun violence using intervention-based strategies. We're also working with research experts locally, including criminologists at Temple, Drexel, and the University of Pennsylvania Crime and Justice Policy Lab. Early on, we established 3 foundational goals: educating stakeholders about this work, creating a gun violence intervention coordination center to link all the resources together and facilitate evidence-based intervention strategies, and establishing a civic resource board to help ensure that this work continues.
Progress is being made. Of those who are at the highest risk of shooting someone or being shot themselves, approximately 1/3 of them are now involved in intervention programs. This is the power of civic partnership and public partnership, and the power to bend the curve on the biggest crisis of our city. And while progress is still being made and shootings are down 20% this year, still, more than 300 people have died in Philadelphia. There is clearly more work to be done, and that's why we're here.
Of course, we have more work to do, and we are not going to let up. But look what happened when all of us, we stepped forward with one voice and one purpose, and that was all about to save lives. It is actually really amazing. In his final progress report on gun violence prevention efforts, Mayor Kenney announced that gun violence is down significantly, 20% in 1 year. That is more than double what most cities are seeing. We've become a national model. Other cities are reaching out to us. They're asking for our guidance and advice to do the exact same thing. So, as we welcome a dynamic new mayor and a terrific police commissioner, we are fully behind them to continue the momentum and bring resources and value to their intervention efforts. And we need to keep bending that curve.
This is about making a real difference for individuals, for their families, for communities, and for our entire city. This is about giving everyone in our city hope for a better tomorrow.